Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. What's up, everybody? Good morning and a very happy Thursday to you all. Appreciate you making us a part of your start. If you are already up and at it, whether you're listening on the radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM, available to stream up online at sportstalk1051.com. You've got your Alexa devices, your smart speakers. Got the video stream that's also up and rolling. Don't forget, you can download the app, take it on the go. Multiple ways for you to be tuning in. We've got the Shoe Doctor's bullpen line where you can join in on the conversation, 715-830-1912, or the Section 105 chat on our video stream. What do we have on our game plan for us this morning? Well, Brewers falling last night to the Cardinals, 5-1. Kyle Harrison suffering his second loss of the season, and then after the game revealing that he's been dealing with some elbow soreness for a couple weeks now. Doesn't seem like it's too big of a concern. They're hoping that after the All-Star break, or that the All-Star break is coming up at the right time, and that just a little bit of a shutdown, a little bit of a rest will do it some good. So hopefully that's the case, but I guess we're kind of in a wait and see approach here. So Brewers will wrap up their series with the Cardinals tonight, Game 5 of the series, and we get to see a pitcher coming back from injury. Logan Henderson is scheduled to get the start for the Brew Crew. It's been a hot minute since we've seen Logan Henderson pitch for the Brewers, but we'll be able to see him back in action here tonight. So that'll be a welcome sight to see him return to the rotation as the Brewers looking to pick up the win and take 4 out of 5 against the Cardinals before they hit the road and wrap up the weekend going up against the Pirates before the All-Star break. So we'll recap last night's game and then look ahead to tonight's series finale against the Cardinals. Also on the dockets here this morning, We'll talk a little hoops. John Horst, Bucs general manager John Horst, chatting with the media for the first time since the Giannis trade became officially official. We'll go through some of his comments and what he had to say about the trade of Giannis to the Miami Heat, and get your reaction and get your thoughts on it all. So we'll throw that in there. We'll continue our Packers training camp countdown, the top storylines, top things that we're going to be watching for when it comes to when we get to Packers training camp and preseason, which is going to be here before you know it, just in a few weeks here at the end of the month. So we'll continue our kind of countdown series of the top storylines and maybe position groups to kind of watch as we get to training camp. We've already talked a little bit about the offensive line. We've talked about running backs with the uncertainty of Josh Jacobs and the depth behind Josh Jacobs. So we'll hit that up coming up here in just a little bit. So we'll catch up with Jake Boakes coming up in a couple hours. So if you have any outdoor-related questions, please send those on over right now to that Shoe Doctor's bullpen line at 715-830-1912 so we can get those on over to Jake. So if you have any hunting, fishing, or any outdoor-related questions, please send those on over so we can get those to Jake. But also, it is Thursday, so it's a 3-up and 3-down Thursday. If you want to play along, please go ahead and do so. Your 3 sports items, 3 things that you would say are up, kind of like a stock report, and maybe 3 items that are down. So it's a little bit of a stock report here. 3 up, 3 down. What you got? Also, it's Am I Wrong Thursday. So Am I Wrong brought to you by Mike's Star Market. What's that sports take? What's that sports opinion? Or what's your thoughts where you would, like usual, say, am I wrong for thinking that? Am I wrong for for saying that or believing that when it comes to the sports world. So feel free to send those on over as well. So we'll kind of dabble into everything, and whatever else is on your mind here this morning that you'd like to chat about, please feel free to send over your thoughts. If you got a question, you got a segment idea, you got a topic idea that you want to throw out for the rest of the listeners, hey, send them on over. We'd love to hear it. So let's get things rocking and rolling here this morning, though, right away. Let's open it up talking some baseball. By the way, the Northwoods League All-Star game last night in the books. It was the Great Lakes team that defeated the Great Plains team, and Great Plains is where the Express were playing on. So the Express will return to action coming up tomorrow as they hit the road to take on Thunder Bay for a couple games. And then they will hit up La Crosse, and they will return home for their first game next Tuesday back at Carson Park against Minnesota. So, all right, let's get things going here as well. We'll take our first break. We've got intern Carter joining us here as well. So we'll get the leadoff going here. We'll talk some Brewers baseball, looking back at last night's loss. Kyle Harrison, we'll chat a little bit about him, concern level with the elbow. And then we get Logan Henderson making his return tonight as we wrap up this series against the Cardinals. Plenty of Brewers talk coming your way. We'll take our first break, and we'll be right back with the leadoff coming up after these quick words. Summer is the season for golf, softball, pickleball, running, staying active, but you know what? Aches and pains, they can quickly slow you down. And that's where Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine comes on in. Their experienced team helps weekend warriors and athletes of all ages get back to doing what they love with extra care and treatment options designed to keep you moving. Play more, hurt less. That's Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. All right, so let's get say good morning to our friend, Mr. Intern Carter. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Pretty good.
Yeah? Yeah, still rocking and rolling with the baseball season?
Yep. A couple more tournaments.
Okay.
So almost done.
Where's your next one at?
We play in Plover next weekend.
Ooh, so, nice.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Used to live in Plover for a hot minute. Right when I got out of college. Had a job over at the YMCA in Rapids and lived in Plover.
There you go.
On the highway. So, but all right. So got Plover, and you said a couple more after that too.
Yep, and then Mauston, and then we're done.
You just were in Mauston, so you're going back. They got the nice complex though, right?
Really nice complex. Yeah.
So what age group is it again for you?
15U.
15U.
Yep.
Okay. So, all right. Yeah, we got one this weekend at in Holman.
Okay.
Over by La Crosse. So. Got to hit the road tomorrow evening, early Saturday morning, Abe. Here, okay, it's the last time I talked to you, I was complaining about our schedules because we played 4 in a row and 5 in one day. We play another Eau Claire team Saturday morning in Holman. Like, can we just play that Friday night in Eau Claire, let you know the result, so we can come back, come later, like get a little sleep or something. But it's like, we go all the way to Holman, we got to play another Eau Claire team? Like, come on.
In the morning, too.
In the morning at 8:30 in the morning. I mean, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? So, but, it is what. Then we play a Minnesota team after that, so it'll be interesting for the kids. First time they'll do that, but we got one more after this weekend. Summer's flying on by.
It is.
It's crazy to think about training camp starting in a couple weeks.
Yeah, you said talk about the Packers and counting it down. I guess I haven't thought about how quickly that's coming. Like, that's next month already.
Yeah. Yeah, family night is less than a month away.
Yikes.
August 7th, yeah.
Yikes.
Crazy to think about, but probably coming at a good time, too, although the Brewers always, at least the last couple of years, they've made it so we're not desperate for something to get going here because they've been relevant and such, and they continue to stay relevant. So let's talk a little bit about the Brewers here this morning, shall we? After last night's game, falling 5-1 to the St. Louis Cardinals. Harrison just going 4 innings, giving up 4 hits, 3 earned runs, including a home run. So his ERA is now over 3 at a 3.01. But he was up to 70 pitches in those 4 innings, and then afterwards it was revealed that he's been dealing with a little bit of a sore elbow here. He's not scheduled to pitch again until after the All-Star break, and they feel like that's going to be, he just needs a break here to kind of rest that. And he's been, been used quite a bit here. So, but I don't know, man. Every time I hear elbow, sore, anything when it comes to a pitcher that has to deal with an arm, I get nervous. I get really nervous about it. Hopefully it's just fatigue, but still. You got the long stretch coming up here, and if Harrison's going to be one of the main dudes going forward with the pitching staff, it's to the point where it's every outing he has now, I'm going to be crossing my fingers that nothing pops up.
Yeah, and we talked about, going into the postseason with Mizorowski and Harrison gives you a good chance to win, but if you don't have Harrison, you're right back to where you were last year.
Yeah.
With only one, so it gets a little concerning.
Yeah. So we'll see, but again, hopefully that he says he's not too concerned. I mean, the quote that let me bring up his quote. He said, "I've been better. It's something I've been battling the past couple of weeks. Just a good time for a break, right? That's the best way to look at it." The consensus is that the break is what's needed. Saying, quote, "I'm confident in that, and so are the trainers. So is everyone. It should be something that's just a little something." It's obvious he's fatigued, and we've got to help him on that. Pat Murphy said we could have left him in there, but we're thinking about his future. So definitely something to kind of watch here. But last night's game, I mean, not a whole lot to kind of, really break down. We had Lara getting the start in right field, which I think I speak for the rest of the Salvatore Frelick fan club. I'm nervous, and I know there's now more chatter. Could he be potentially involved in trade packages before the trade deadline? But I don't. Yes, I'm nervous, but at the same time, there's ways to get everybody in there, right? I mean, rotation-wise,
yeah,
right.
I think. It was confusing to me when they called him up, but they can just sit an outfielder every night. And now you've got room to play around with your outfield mix. And I don't think they'll trade Frelick just because of the locker room guy he is. And
the chemistry part.
Yeah, how meaningful he is to this team. And he does the little things so well. But, I mean, it's tough, put them in a tough spot because of how good Garrett Mitchell's playing.
Yep.
And Sal had a really good June. So he also was playing well. If we were having this conversation last month, I think you could have sat both Garrett Mitchell and Sal Frelick.
Yeah.
And now they both have to play every day. So it gets a little more murky.
Yep. Yeah. And, I mean, we've seen a lot as of late here, too, the defense that Sal provides in right field. I mean, he is a Gold Glove winning right fielder, so he does have versatility. He can play multiple spots in the outfield, which really, I think a lot of those outfielders on this Brewers team can. I don't know if I've seen Garrett Mitchell play anywhere else besides center, but we've seen Chirio play center and left, Frelick center and right. Obviously, Lara could play center and right, too. So, but they provide that versatility, so much speed that those outfielders can track down too. And you saw, I think, early on in the game yesterday too, with Lara playing right field, a little bit of adjustment, just getting familiar with the warning track and the big league, fields. I mean, there was the one that he misplayed. I don't know if it kind of got lost in the sun a little bit, but he leapt or he jumped a little too early, and then the acrobatic catch. But it's like, so I mean, that's going to happen. Kind of getting called up and just getting familiar with those fields because every ballpark's different in the corner. So, but I mean, he collected another hit last night too. We've seen a lot of good stuff. We can see the potential there. But how about Cooper Pratt? He collected a couple of hits last night, and when you look at what he has done in his last 22 at bats, I mean, the guy's hitting .318. So I mean, off to a little bit of a slower start offensively. We know that that wasn't something he's been known for from an offensive side, but hey, he's right now hitting better. He's already got 6 stolen bases, 5 RBIs. I know he got thrown out last night on a stolen base attempt, but I mean, he's producing a little bit more at the plate. We talked a lot about Joey Ortiz, and then he collected another hit last night too. Is it something as simple as he's just more confident at third base. I don't know. Like, he was making some throws at third base and some stuff. We knew he was a great defensive player, but again, last night he made some great diving plays at third base to save, a single from becoming a double or even just throwing the guy out at first base.
It's weird because this is kind of how he looked in year one, playing third base. And so I don't know if he's more comfortable at third and can just play the position he's supposed to. But I don't know how that affects the offensive part of the game. Mm-hmm. So it's weird to me, but all of a sudden he can hit, so I'll take it.
Right. Yeah. And it's and I think that's maybe part of it too. I know it's a little bit early, but with David Hamilton on the injured list, and I know it's a short term right now, but maybe that's why Jet Williams wasn't called up, to play third, because right now you play Joey Ortiz, don't you?
Yeah.
With his defense and what he's definitely given you from the offensive side of things. I think it's still, do you trust him when it gets later on? We'll see. But if he continues to hit like this, like he was in year one, maybe that's where he's going to be sticking, is at third base. I don't know if it's just the mental part of it or what, but he seems he seems a lot more comfortable at the plate from what we've seen lately.
Yeah, and he's not, I believe his strikeout rate is down what I saw. So he's swinging at the right pitches. He's picking the pitches to take. And again, his defense, he's always good at short, but he's almost better at third, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But some of the plays he makes at third are like otherworldly.
Yeah.
And it's so impressive to watch.
Especially going to his right.
Yeah.
With those balls up the line. And he has the arm to make that throw. I know some guys, maybe struggle with the distance from third to first, that slide over there, but he's got the arm to make those throws. He had the one throw out from last night that was awesome, and then he made another great stop, and the throw was just a little bit off. But he saved that from becoming a double play. So he's a lot of fun to watch defensively, and I think he's. Am I wrong for saying I think he's more fun to watch at third than short with some of his plays right now?
No, he definitely is.
Yeah. But hey, one pitcher is coming back for the Brewers, and that's Logan Henderson. So. Logan Henderson back. It's been a while since we've seen Logan Henderson pitch for the Brewers. So it'll be kind of a nice welcome return to see him. It is still weird to say that the last time we saw him was May. So it's a little bit longer than what you think. But his last appearance was May 22nd against the Dodgers when he picked up a win, 5 innings, 2 hits, 7 strikeouts. So I think with the Brandon Woodruff stuff, and we'll talk a little bit about a Brandon Woodruff update here in just a minute, but to see Logan Henderson return to the starting rotation probably couldn't come at a better time right now for this group with Harrison, with the sore elbow, and then Brandon Woodruff. This seems like it's perfect time to throw in Logan Henderson for a start because then he's going to have the All-Star break. So get him in some work, and then you don't have to kind of rush him back right away, see how it goes, and then with a little bit of a break here. But definitely a welcome sight to get him back in.
Yeah, and it stabilizes your starting rotation a little bit. You don't have to keep calling up guys and then sending them back down. We're kind of running out of starting pitchers at AAA to bring up. So it's really helpful to get him back. And again, if Harrison has to miss any time, then you're going to need Logan Henderson to be able to fill that void.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it'll be nice to see him back here and be curious to see how long they leave him out there. It has been a couple months since, or a month and a half since we've seen him out there. Will there be a little, it's hard to say what he's going to look like. He could look really refreshed and dominating and such, but I'm just glad that he's back and back in this rotation. So, but it will be a tough test. You got, Palente going for the Cardinals, who's got 10 wins so far this season. He's 10-5, and he's coming off of a win against the Cubbies back in the third, where he went 5 2/3, no earned runs. And he did pitch against Milwaukee back on the 6th. That was a loss. Milwaukee was able to put up 5 earned runs against him in 6 innings in that May 6th contest. So. But speaking of pitching, let's talk a little Brandon Woodruff. We got to take a quick break here. Maybe not the greatest updates from Brandon Woodruff yesterday. We'll tell you what Pat Murphy And the Brewers kind of revealed yesterday and what the status is for Woodruff going forward. We'll be right back after these quick words. Summer's right here, and that means it's time to hit the road and something that you love. And at Toyson Ford, you will find a great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles ready for every adventure. Looking for some power? How about comfort and reliability? Hey, they've got it all, backed by a team that's committed to making your car buying experience easy and stress-free. So whether it's a weekend getaway or your daily drive, make sure that you're riding in style this summer. Toyson Ford in Chippewa Falls, where your next journey begins. So staying with some Brewers chat, and not the greatest update yesterday in terms of Brandon Woodruff. So Brewers, Pat Murphy yesterday talking a little bit about Woodruff, but apparently the latest MRI scan for Brandon Woodruff showed a new injury to the anterior capsule, which, if just a little bit of a reminder, Woodruff had to have that repaired in 2023. That was where he missed a significant amount of time, a multi-year rehab. We didn't see him until last year, July 2025, get back from. So he is getting a second opinion from the doctor, the surgeon who did perform that surgery on his anterior capsule. So not the greatest updates. Pat Murphy saying yesterday, we've got a lot of information. We're not ready to speak about it. It's hard, but he's trying to be strong, and he's trying to look for the positive in all of it. He was so good when he was pitching. He makes the whole room relax. So we'll talk more about this, obviously, with Dr. Crow tomorrow for our Inside the Training Room segment. But just from an outside observer and fan, talk about Harrison and elbow, and I wonder, are we going to see Brandon Woodruff pitch again? Mm-hmm. You know, I hate to go down that path. Again, I'm not an expert, but I mean, when you hear that stuff and we just base an opinion off of that, I wonder if we're ever going to see that guy pitch again. You know, when you factor in he's been dealing with, strains in his shoulders, miles per hour dipping in it. It's just, it has not been a good recovery for Brandon Woodruff. And you feel awful because I think every Brewers fan likes Brandon Woodruff. I mean, he has been there for a long time. He has had some great moments. The bobblehead's coming out this year, which I think everybody's going to love. When the fun part, I think, for Brandon Woodruff is when you think about Brandon Woodruff in his Brewers career, I think a majority of Brewers fans are going to think about a home run off of Kershaw in the playoffs, right?
Yes.
For a pitcher to think about that. So when he is what I think as a Brewer, Brandon Woodruff, he's going to be on that wall or walk, whatever one that the Brewers put. You feel awful for him, and I hope people don't blame him. And because some fans are going to blame him and kind of label him, and he's making so much money this year. First of all, I don't fault him for picking up the $20 million. The Brewers threw that out there, and anybody in their right mind would probably do that. Mm-hmm. Does that look like a good decision now? Probably not, but that's a Brewers thing, not a Brandon Woodruff thing. Mm-hmm. I feel awful for him, and I don't know if we're ever going to see him pitch, at least for the Brewers again at this point.
Yeah, it's hard because he's such a smart pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the MLB, you should not be able to get guys out with an 85-mile-an-hour fastball. And you look at, when they pulled him last game, he had 3 straight strikeouts at 82 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So he's such a smart pitcher. He can read hitters like no pitcher I've seen in a long time. And so, and he's a Brewer through and through.
Yes.
And so that kind of makes it harder. But whatever they do, if they decide to shut him down, he's got to stay in the clubhouse.
Yep.
Because he's that voice for guys like Miz and guys like Harrison, especially to a team with such a young pitching staff.
I agree. I 100% agree. And I know we're probably getting a little too far ahead of ourselves. But if that guy wants a career in like coaching and such, I think he would have it. Mm-hmm. And I know the Brewers have some deep pitching coaches on there, but if there's a way that they could keep him around in that, because you're right. You hear even position players like Yelich last year talking about how much Woodruff just means and the confidence that players have in him and the teammates that they have in him, or the confidence that his teammates have in him. I agree with you 100%. I think he would be just to be around the guys, like when they get to the postseason, for Mizorowski, for Kyle Harrison, because right now, without Woodruff, that is going to be a young group. It is going to be you're talking about Mizorowski maybe being the veteran of the group with Chad Patrick if they don't make a move before the postseason, right? Robert Gasser, Logan Henderson, or whoever out, Brandon Sproat, Shane Rowan. Keep Woodruff around and keep him around that dugout or along those pitchers. It stinks. It really stinks because, when he's gotten hurt too for a couple times, it's been right before the postseason, right? It's been right before that postseason, like last year and a couple years before that. And he's going to be a what if. And I don't think any athlete wants to be in that category, but he's going to be in a category of what if. What if he never got hurt? What if he never had those major injuries? Would the Brewers have a different course in the playoffs? What would his numbers look like? It stinks and it sucks, and I don't think we're going to see him pitch at least again this year for the Brewers.
Yeah, I don't think so too, but I mean maybe this is the perfect time and he comes back before the postseason. I highly doubt it, but like you said, he's getting injured all the time before the playoffs, so he decided to do it this time before the All-Star break. So.
Yeah. And I don't know if a change, because I know there's going to be some people throwing this out there. Could he develop into a bullpen guy, a closer or something like that? I don't know if that's going to make a difference. I really don't. And again, maybe that's a conversation we can ask, Dr. Crow tomorrow, that would him being kind of turning into the John Smoltz, where John Smoltz turned his career into a really good, closer at the end. I don't know, but I mean, you look at the makeup of the Brewers. What's their bullpen? They like guys who could give you a few innings, except for McGill and Uribe at the back end. So I don't know if that would be in the cards for him. Maybe it's for somewhere else. But I did find this was a video I saw. I don't know how old it is, but John Smoltz was asked, because now you have the openers, the guys that give you one innings. Smoltz said he would have retired if that would have been his option to be an opener. He's like, no, thank you for that. So it sucks. And I really hope Brewers fans don't blame Brandon Woodruff and that. We can't control injuries. You can't. I think too many fans at certain points think athletes can, and they use it against them. It sucks. It really, and I hate to be going. And again, this is where a lot of fans will be like, well, he's got $20 million, so he's doing good. Yeah, he's doing good. But at the same time, he's a competitor, and he wants to be out there and pitch.
Yep.
And the fact that his career might be ended because of injuries, I don't think any athlete wants to end their career or forced to be end their career because of injuries.
And forced is the right word because he's pitching so well. He just threw 6 shutout innings versus the Reds. It's not like he was giving up runs left and right. He's been behind Miz and Harrison, he's been our best pitcher. So that's the hard part, because not only as a team you get weaker, but as a pitching staff you lose not only your veteran leader, but another very talented arm who got a lot of outs.
Yeah, you're right, because when he was out there, he was at a high level. I mean, we were talking about, okay, Mizorowski, Harrison, Woodruff, that's a threesome that can get you deep into the postseason. It's not like he was coming back and it's like, oh gosh, he's, allowing 4 or 5 or guy was pitching really good. Mm-hmm. And that's got to be even more frustrating for Woodruff and for the Brewers. It's like, when I'm out there, I'm pitching at a high level. I am pitching really good. My shoulder cannot just hold up. Like, my body is not holding up, and that's got to be even more frustrating for that guy. More frustrating for fans, too, because we see it, like, how good he is, and he just can't catch a break.
And you even have to think about it, like, just reading a little bit, this injury he had to have surgery on and wasted that whole year to rehab. Now, if you're in Woodruff's shoes, it's back, and you took a whole year off to try to rehab this shoulder. I mean, he's got to feel awful right now.
You wonder about the mental side of that, too, right? You think about, because that's what you're thinking about. Do I have to sit out another year? Not the rest of this year, but potentially next year or a big chunk of next year? Do you want to go through that again? Do you want, that's what some of these, and remember, he doesn't have a contract for next year. And when, I don't think the Brewers would do this again, but remember when he first suffered that injury, what did the Brewers do? They gave him a 2-year deal to stay around for that first year, rehab. I don't think they would do that again.
Probably not.
Not to be jerks or anything like that, but it's they like, okay, we did this a couple times now, but we can't. This is the second time. It's a business decision at that point. And obviously, given with the uncertainties of labor agreements and such, we don't know what it's going to look like next year. But it's just, it stinks. And Seabaum says anyone blaming Woodruff are the same idiots that blame Christian Watson for his injuries. These guys are giving it. They're all out there to live their dream. Don't you think they want to be on the field? I feel awful for Woody. Yeah. God, it stinks. I don't want that to be the last image of Brandon Woodruff in a Brewers uniform, but I feel like it's going to be.
I do too.
And it just, it sucks. So, all right, we got to take another quick break as we already wrap up the first hour here. So send us your 3 up, 3 downs. What you got? Play along with us. If you got 3 items that are rising, 3 items that are falling down, maybe that's Woodruff 3 down for you. But you can do that. You can send us your Mike's Star Market. Am I wrong? Give me a sports take. Give me a sports opinion where you'd be like, am I wrong? Mine's, am I wrong for thinking that we're not going to see Brandon Woodruff anymore for the Brewers, pitching for the Brewers? If he stays within the organization, I'd be all about that.
Pinch hit in the playoffs.
Hey, maybe he can develop into a hitter.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, keep on the roster for hitting. But what you got? Send it on over to us. You can hit us up on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line, 715-830-1912, or join in on the Section 105 chats. We'll take our final break for the first hour and be right back after these quick words. Looking for the perfect summer hangout? Well, then you need to make your way on over to the VFW Post 305 in Eau Claire. You can enjoy some beautiful views overlooking the river, some great food, some cold beverages, and some of the best live local music that you will find anywhere in the Chippewa Valley. Whether you're meeting some friends after work or spending a summer evening outdoors, VFW Post 305 is the place to be. Great views, great music, great times. That's the VFW Post 305 in Eau Claire. We got about 10 minutes left to the top of the hour. So coming up next hour, we'll hit up some Bucks chats with comments from John Horst, the first comments from the Bucks GM since officially trading Giannis. We'll get your reaction to that. We'll continue our Packers training camp countdown, the top storylines, things to watch as we get to a training camp, which is going to be starting here in just a couple of weeks, believe it or not. So we're very, very close to that happening. So, but we'll wrap up the first hour, continuing some baseball talk with the Brewers back at it tonight to wrap up this long 5-game series against the Cardinals. Logan Henderson making his return to the lineup tonight. Brewers will wrap this up, and then they hit the road for 3 games against the Pirates, and then it's the All-Star break. Hopefully the Brewers don't. I feel like I have. This was a few years ago, but when they lost 5 in a row to the Pirates right before the All-Star break, do you remember that?
I do. Yeah.
It's like, just don't do that. Don't go in the All-Star break losing 3 in a row to the Pirates here. So, but when you look at where things are currently at, Brewers still holding on to a comfortable lead in the Central. They're 6 games ahead of the Cubs for first place. Cardinals are 9.5 back, but Brewers not that far off. I mean, they're still second best record in all of Major League Baseball, which it's just, you look at the AL. I mean, is there any team in the American League that is just like, okay, that's I mean, Tampa Bay is 54-36, but the Yankees, they're 2-8 in their last 10. They are only 8 games above 500. Everybody else, there's only 2 teams that have 50 or more wins in the American League, whereas the National League, you've got the Brewers, you've got the Cubs, you've got the Braves, you've got the Phillies. Hell, the Marlins have 51 wins. And, of course, the Dodgers on there. So this is turning into kind of a weird baseball season when you look at where things are at heading into the All-Star break.
Yeah, especially because the Braves had such a big lead. I mean, at one point they had a 12-game lead in their division, and then now it's down to 3 to both the Phillies and the Marlins. The Cubs, I mean, I'd hate to be a Cubs fan because you had such a bad start to the year, and now they're playing such good baseball, and you're still 6 games back. Like, I don't know how that would feel. Like, again, like last year, they had a good season and still lost the division. Now this year, they're playing well and still 6 games back of first place. Mm-hmm. And then obviously in the NL West, you've got the Dodgers just beating everybody. But it sets up for a great end of the season and a really fun trade deadline.
That's the thing, too, with the trade deadline, just as a reminder, if anybody's wondering when the trade deadline is, it's going to be August 3rd, Monday, August 3rd. So just not that far off. Again, we're less than a month away, but with so many teams maybe still kind of in the hunt here, it might be a seller's market. You know, if you got teams like if the Mets decide to sell, all right, limited amount of players available means price tags are going to go up. So we'll kind of see how that plays out. But, yeah, you look at the National League West, too. Besides the Dodgers, Padres 500, that's the second best. Diamondbacks are on there. I mean, Giants sounds like they want to sell, but they've got so many guys under big deals. I don't know how many teams want to take on some of those players. So, yeah, and then you got the NL East with the Marlins. Heck, even the Nationals are 2 games above 500. I mean, for a wild card chase, they're not out of it either. So it's kind of crazy to see where things are at right now. And I mean, if the Pirates have a good series against the Brewers, don't count them out maybe for a wild card spot. Yeah. They might push for that too. And I know they're dealing with some injuries here, so maybe they're just kind of hoping to tread some water here. But yeah, I think you're right. After that All-Star break, it'll be curious to see where a lot of those rumors and conversations go, because I think that's where the hot stove or all that's going to really pick up after this All-Star break.
And I'm interested to see who's a quote-unquote a buyer, because, I mean, you've got a team like the Padres at 500, or, I mean, the Nationals and Marlins, they've been okay for several years, and now they're finally in the postseason hunt again. So do they go for it and, like, screw it, we want to get to the playoffs? And then, obviously, the Cubs and the Cardinals trying to catch the Brewers. And it's going to be interesting to see who kind of tries to go all in for players and try to make things interesting.
Right. I agree. So, game time tonight, 6:45. You can listen to it on your radio dials, 105.1 FM and 790 AM. Pregame coverage will begin about 35 minutes prior. So, we mentioned the Express. It was a Northwoods League All-Star game last night. That'd be cool to play down in Field of Dreams and that. Have you been there?
Never.
Yeah, it's on my bucket list too. I got to go check it out. So, but six players representing the Express down there. So they'll be back in action tomorrow. When you look at where things are at right now in the Northwoods League standings, so we know lacrosse won the first half division, but right now the Express are just a half game back from first place in the division. Rochester's in first place with a 5-1 record. The Express 6-3. The Express did defeat Rochester to give them their lone loss in this second half. So the Express will be taking on Thunder Bay when they get back in action tomorrow. And Thunder Bay, well, they're just 1-5 to begin the second half here. So maybe an opportunity to rack up a couple of wins here before they get. When do they play? Do they play? I'm just looking at the schedule here. If they play Rochester coming up, okay, not till they only got them for 2 more games. No, 4 more games. Okay, so they got Rochester coming to Carson Park next weekend. So that should be a good matchup. So, but don't forget, next Thursday is our next tailgate Thursday. So we're going to be tailgating for the Express game starting at 4, and we're going to actually be over by the Hank Aaron statue. So if you want to join us for a little tailgate, we'll have some samples with their Legends beer. So we'll have that. We'll have some games, some prizes to give away. Make sure you get your tickets for the game and root on the Express as they take on the Minnesota Mud Puppies. But that's going to be next Thursday for our tailgate Thursday, July 16th. The pregame to 40.
There you go.
Before I turn 40 the next day. I'm an old man now, Carter, so I'm getting there. I hate to think about that, but all right. We just got a couple minutes left to the top of the hour here, but we'll kick it off with looking at John Horst's comments from yesterday, his media session, talking to the media. First time since the Bucks trade became official for Giannis. Bobby Portis threw a going-away party.
Yeah.
That's why he's a fan favorite, throwing a going-away party. Can you imagine if Giannis did that? It would be packed.
Yeah.
You'd have to have the whole arena probably. So that I hope nobody's criticizing Giannis for not doing that. Let's face it. If Giannis did it, it'd probably be a little too out of control. Bobby Portis, you can get away with it.
Yeah.
Giannis, you can't. That would just be crowd control issue. So I don't know if anybody's well, Bobby did this. Why can't Giannis? I hope nobody's like that. But Giannis, too, saying that there's been a video thing that's been following him around. Did you see that? He says when he's done, he wants to be an NBA coach.
I did.
You think Giannis could be an NBA coach? He's getting experience at All-Star breaks, being celebrity coaches.
Well, he definitely can't be a general manager the way some of the moves have worked out for the Bucks.
That's true. I think Kareem didn't a few years ago. He wanted to be a coach for the Bucks. So.
Yeah, something like that. He'll get an assistant coaching job if he wants one. Mm-hmm. I'm sure the Bucks will give him one. So, but he also loves Greece, so I could see him just retiring and being I'm done.
Yeah. He said either a stay-at-home dad or an NBA coach. But yeah, I don't.
Two very different.
Very different things. Either you're doing nothing. I don't want to say nothing because stay-at-home dad, but kids will be older at that time.
Yeah, so. Or everything.
Right. Or you are pretty much doing what you're doing now. You're going to be on the road and maybe even doing a little bit more with that. So, but I don't know if I can picture Giannis strolling the sidelines as a coach.
Or the post-game press conferences.
Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting, but... All right, shot clock's going to cut us off. We got some news updates, and we'll talk some hoops and tell you what John Horst had to say yesterday about trading the franchise's best player in its history. So, and kind of some comments about the future of the Bucks and the direction of where the Bucks are going. We'll be right back after